Right, so today I'm going to be talking about purification of your water and getting deep sleep. So, when in my system I refer to the water element, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about pure water and getting deep, restful sleep. So, I'll go over quite a few things for each that you can implement, and I've implemented in my life. These are just my experiences, and that's really all I feel like any of this really is I'm sharing what I've done in my life to fix particular problems. And one big problem has been getting high quality water. If you just drink out of the tap, you're getting garbage. And I've done that, and it definitely saw negative things happen in my health. So one of the easiest things that I do that's inexpensive and is an easy way to purify your water is just to simply use, most grocery stores will have a reverse osmosis water purification station somewhere in the store. And that's an easy way to just bring a gallon jug, or a 5-gallon jug is probably more popular. So if you have that glass jug, hopefully take that to your grocery store, you fill it up with the reverse osmosis, and that'll purify the water. Now, having said that, it doesn't have the natural minerals that you'll have in spring water. So some things that you can do, just a nice easy thing, is just add something like Redmond real salt or Himalayan pink salt to that water, and that will add some minerals and help you hydrate better. Another thing you might do is just add some lemon juice, a little bit of lemon juice to that. So the combination of those things, you're going to have smaller amounts of minerals reintroduced into the reverse osmosis water. So when it's purified with reverse osmosis, it strips the mineral content that would naturally be in the water. And so you've just got water that's stripped of minerals. So speaking of minerals, minerals are your micronutrients. Your macronutrients would be things like, carbs, protein, fats, food, right? But the micronutrients are your minerals and your vitamins. So there's a couple different things you can do to add the mineral content back into your water. I've had the best experience with trace minerals. So things like fulvic and humic acid, liquid minerals, and those are trace amounts of minerals. I think that's probably why I've done so good with that. My body has responded well to it, is because it's trace amounts, it's smaller amounts, so it's not a huge dose of, say, magnesium or any of the particular minerals. It's just trace amounts of several different minerals. Another good option is the Himalayan shilajit. If I'm pronouncing that correctly, it's basically just another fulvic acid mineral. Sometimes you can get it in capsules, or it's like this weird resin material, and you just add that to your water. So I really didn't realize how important the micronutrients and minerals were until I had issues with my hydration and my blood sugar levels. So I used to have issues with hypoglycemia, for instance. And what I found was when I started drinking water with the minerals in it, that greatly helped with having a stable blood sugars. And I also noticed that my hydration was way better than it was before adding those minerals. So that's definitely something you should consider adding to your purified water. Now, I will mention there's several different methods of purification for water. I'm just telling you what I've used, and reverse osmosis is really cheap. Most people can just utilize their grocery stores reverse osmosis, and that's a inexpensive, easy way to fix the water problem. So having said that, your tap water is never going to rival spring water, which naturally has minerals in it and is pure, coming up from the earth out of that spring. It's been undirtied if it's a clean source, and it's naturally got the minerals that it's taken from the earth as it's flowed. And so tap water is just pretty gross, and it's a poor job of purification. And anytime I've had tap water in the past, I've found that I didn't feel good. So, kind of feel, sense how you feel, try different things, different water purification, see how it makes you feel. So when you're storing your water, glass is a better option than plastic. Plastic's really convenient and you can find it anywhere, but unfortunately, if it's not BPA free, that's horrible, because that'll mess up your hormones, the microplastics seeping into the water. But I've read from several sources that even BPA free plastic can be problematic, and that they haven't truly studied the other forms of plastic that are BPA free enough to safely say that it's truly safe, and that the plastics don't seep in and have a similar sort of negative effect on your body. So I've switched over to glass, and glass jugs, you can get them different amounts. I think 5 gallons people are most familiar with. This is just a small 1 gallon jug. But with glass, you know that your water isn't being contaminated with plastics, microplastics, which is it's an extremely big problem that we have now in our environment, not just our choices and what we store our water in. For instance, when plastic degrades, it ends up all over the place in our soil, our water, our air. So any way you can eliminate that, the better off you'll be. So use glass. So with hydrogen water generators, you might have seen those around. I know you can find tons of them on Amazon, and I've tried a couple on Amazon, and I bought cheaper ones, which was a mistake. So if you're looking to get a hydrogen water generator, they make them in bottles kind of like this, except for it's got a hydrogen generator unit on top or on bottom when you turn it on. Anyways, when you buy a cheap one, you're not going to get something that's really effective in my experience. I've had a couple and I was not satisfied. I didn't feel like I felt an energy difference. I didn't really know how well that was purifying my water. But I do recommend 2 options that are much better quality, and they're also consequently a little bit more expensive. But one you can get from Air Water Healing, and they have quite a few units that I recommend, but they have hydrogen water generators that comes highly recommended, and you can rest assured that that's much better quality than something cheap that you get on Amazon. And then the other hydrogen water generator bottle that I recommend is from Dr. Young. And I have a lot of respect for Dr. Young. I've read his books. I follow his dietary advice. And he has one that kind of ups the game, is quite an upgrade. But basically, his one says it has added benefits of light technology that's said to eradicate bacteria, yeast, mold, and parasites. So if I remember correctly, I think it uses either red light or blue light technology, and that's supposed to help with eliminating bacteria, yeast, mold, parasites, which I haven't heard from any other hydrogen water bottle. But his not only alkalizes the water, but it will ionize the water. So those are some serious health upgrades with his Dr. Young's bottle. Next, alkaline water. With water, you're going to have a level of pH in that water. And so you've got acidic, you've got neutral, and you've got alkaline. And if you've ever tested your body's fluids with these little pH strips that you can buy, you can test your urine and your saliva and see how on that scale acidic or alkaline it is. Now, I gotta tell you, I've had a lot of trouble moving from acidic to alkaline. And it seemed like even if I was eating a ton of veggies and drinking what I thought was high quality water, I still wasn't able to move myself to a more alkaline state. But I found one thing that works really well. And in fact, it's the only thing that I found that really moves me into my body into a more alkaline state. And that product's from Dr. Young, and it's called 4 salts. Basically, it's just 4 mineral salts that, when combined together, do a superior job of making your, in this case, I was testing my urine, more pH, more alkaline. And I was amazed because I took it, and so you just pour it in your water and you drink the water, and when I tested my urine after that, it immediately went into the range of pH. And I told you how I had so much trouble moving from an acidic state. And I recently ran out of the product, and I tested my urine's pH today, and it was acidic, on the acidic end of the scale, which is unhealthy, by the way. And you want to be in that neutral to pH state. Dr. Young's 4 salts is the only thing I found that really works quickly to bring your bodily fluids to more of a pH state. So I highly recommend that. That's something that I personally invest in, and I really think is important. Now I want to talk about getting deep sleep. Now, just as a heads up, before we run into this, I've never had horrible sleep, so it's not something that I made a dramatic change in, but I do have quite a few good suggestions, things that I've disciplined myself in to get good, deep, restful sleep. So some of those things are, you can get the same grounding mats that I'm a fan of. I have one that I just use when I'm in front of my computer for long hours, and that I find that very helpful. And it's supposed to be helpful with dealing with things like EMFs and your electronic components having a negative effect on your body's energy. This grounds you literally to the Earth's energy and balances you out. However, when it comes to sleep, you can get these full bedding systems, sheets, pillows, blankets, the works. They make the whole thing. So the idea is the longer period of time that you're grounded to the earth, the more balanced you'll be, and the less EMFs, just modern conveniences, the electronics will have an effect on you, a negative effect, if you're not grounded. So with the bedding, think about it, that's the majority of your time when you're asleep. That's a large chunk of time when you're just really doing nothing. And so it's really convenient to have these grounding systems on your bed, because then you're just maximizing the amount of time that you're grounded to the earth. It's just so much easier, because most of us wear shoes, so we're ungrounded from the earth on pretty much a consistent basis. And when you're indoors and everything is insulated and raised up from the earth, so you're not actually connected. But you can hear more about that in my earth element video. This one I'm talking about directly to improve your sleep. Okay, so this next one's really tough for a lot of people, and I'm fairly well technology connected. I've got my computer, my cell phone, doing YouTube videos, got all this lighting and equipment in my house. So that is having kind of a disciplined removal of blue light as you're readying yourself for sleep. So the blue light, it's interesting, lighting has such an effect on us. The blue light coming from your phones, you've probably heard about this, from your computers, it's all utilizing blue light. And so that blue light signals to your body that you should be alert and it's daytime. So when you're preparing for sleep, honestly, an hour before you go to bed, at best you should be turning off those electronics or having something that modulates the lighting at the least, so that it's not just radiating that blue light into your eyes and making your body think, oh, it's time, we should still be awake. So lighting that's on the red part of the spectrum is said to help with sleep. Using these red light therapy boxes, for instance, before you go to sleep, or having a light bulb in your bedroom that you can turn on before bed that's a red light bulb, is a lot healthier to transition you to sleep. And there are a couple hacks for your computer and your phone if you want to look into it. One of the companies is f.lux software. That one's on my Mac computer, and I think it's Windows too. But that will remove the blue light to a large degree, and so it's safer before going to sleep. With a lot of the phones, I think some of them have the apps or already on the operating system itself, it will dim the blue light as the nighttime hours approach, or you can set it up so it can do that. So that is an option, but honestly the best thing you can do is just turn your electronics off an hour before sleep, and that will prepare you to get some good rest and you won't be having that interference. Another thing you can do that I've done at my home here is I actually rewired with Ethernet. I rewired my internet connection into my computer and I turned the Wi-Fi off. Why? Because all of these EMFs, these electronics in your room, the frequencies that they put out aren't helping you get to a restful state. And so if you're getting blasted with your phone's Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and cell phone signal, that's horrible. And it's going to make it much worse for you trying to get to that restful state before sleep. It's about the frequency of something. And so your best bet is really just to turn your electronics off before going to bed. But if you have to, another step is just to rewire your computer internet connection so you can have that Wi-Fi off. most of the time. And then, before you're going to bed, just take that cell phone and put it on airplane mode. I know, a lot of you don't want to do that, but that's the easiest way. You can just disconnect and allow your body to be in its natural state, not being bombarded by all these frequencies, and just have a good restful night's sleep. You can check those messages when you wake up. That's the way I look at it. Let's talk about letting go so that you can get that deep sleep. A lot of people that have sleep issues, their mind is just spinning. And they tend to be the types of people that are just always thinking about something, and I can really relate to that because I'm a thinker. I'm someone that really enjoys using my mind and finding solutions to problems, thinking about my life and how I reflect a lot and think about how I can better myself, and that's really what I'm sharing here too. That's who I am. So there's a couple different ways that you can prepare yourself for sleep. One of my favorite ones is what I like to call productivity journaling. You could also just journal. You could be traditional about it and just write down your thoughts, essentially letting your thoughts go when you put them on paper before going to sleep, and that helps your mind let go of all the garbage in some cases, or positive things that you've been thinking about all day. And so I think that's one of my strong points and why I get good sleep, is because I easily let go of my concerns and worries, because I journal about what I want to achieve in my life. And when I do that and I write down what I wanted, what I desire in my life, what I'm going for, what's working, what's not, that just reminds me that I'm doing everything I can to live my best life. And then at the end of the night, I can just let go because I know I'm doing everything I can. Doesn't mean I get everything I want. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But that act of journaling allows you to remind yourself, okay, I did my best. The day's over. It's time to go to sleep. Hopefully wake up tomorrow. Do it again. So that's journaling. Very powerful. There's two different recommendations I have for an actual journal. One is, the one I have used a lot is the 12-week journal. The 12-week year journal. It's a book. But you can actually buy the journal. And I believe he also has like a PDF that you can just write on. And you can fill in all of your journaling goals on that PDF. And I've really done really well with that. And I like that system. Another thing that I do use that's great is called Zen Kit. And it comes with a few different apps. But the main one I'm thinking about is basically just a task list. And so that's another way that I just kind of keep track of what I'm doing in my life and what I'm achieving. And it's great software because you just put your task list in, and you've got your things that you want to do, you've got your things that you're doing right now, and then you've got your completed list. And it's great because you can just check them off, and it makes you consciously realize that you're doing things in your life and you're achieving things. So that's another method. And then I'll add a third one in just because I know people are different. Just any journal. You could just pick up a notebook and write down your thoughts before going to bed, upon waking up. Very good habit to have. And then the last thing I'm going to suggest that I do, and I know everyone has different feelings on this suggestion, but I'm just going to share my experience, and if you like it, cool. If you don't use it. It's fine. But that last suggestion is prayer and or meditation. And those two things are really powerful. And the reason I think they're powerful is because prayer, whether you're religious or non-religious, spiritual, whatever, prayer is basically you just being conscious of your existence, what you're going for in your life. A lot of cases when people pray, they're asking for assistance to whatever they believe in. Even, if it's just, even if you think they're just talking to themselves, we don't have to get into that. But I really believe it's a healthy habit because it makes you focus on what you really want in your life and vocalize it either in your head or out loud, depending on how you pray. And it's powerful. So if that makes sense to you to use it, use it. If it doesn't, I have another suggestion: meditation. Meditation has been very powerful in my life on multiple levels, but it brings me peace and it allows me to let go, especially in those times when I'm having trouble letting go. And if you think about it, I really feel like deep sleep, getting that good sleep is a matter of just being able to let go. If your mind's running, you're not going to get good sleep. And if you're at peace with your life and what you're doing, I'm pretty sure you're going to get better sleep. That's been my experience. And on the note of meditation, I know there's a lot of systems and styles of meditation, as is there for just simply deep breathing. And I believe focusing on your breath is really powerful too. So if you're not really into meditations like visualizations, I don't do too well with visualizing meditations, never have. But even just focusing on your breath work before going to sleep is very calming and is another way of letting go. So I hope some of these suggestions helps, and maybe you'll utilize a couple of them. But this has been my experience in purifying my water for better health and letting go for deeper sleep to improve my energy for the next day. Till next time.